we're kicking off this video with this crypto heat map, which is finally showing some green again. Bitcoin went up by 0.5% yesterday, and of course, when Bitcoin turns green, the whole crypto market follows. All right, let's settle in and begin this video with the technical analysis. But before we dive in, as always, I want to remind everyone that nothing I say is financial advice. You must do your own research. And don't forget, crypto trading involves the risk of partial or even total loss. Let's start with our fear and greed index, which is shifting ever so slightly toward greed. As you can see, yesterday we were at 50, but now since Bitcoin is showing a bit more strength, the fear and greed index is climbing again. So once again, you've got it. The closer we get to the orange or red zones, the more likely it is that we'll see a bounce. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. We were at 50. Now, remember when we were in the green just a few days ago? At one point, the index reached 74, even 78. About 10 days ago, that was clearly a signal of a local top. And now, as we move closer to the orange or red area, we're looking at a possible bottoming signal. Once again, this indicator really helps us understand the market dynamics. Let's take a look at Bitcoin from a technical point of view. Yesterday, as I mentioned, we had a little rebound. But are we in the clear? Let's not be naive. No, we're not. Still, let's look at what happened. 2 days ago, on May 30th, we re-entered the range from above. That means we unfortunately slipped back into the range from the top. The moment we dropped back below 105,058, it wasn't a good sign. I had told you about the support level around 103,519. I said, okay, re-entering from the top isn't great, but as long as we stay above this support, we won't drop lower. What happened? We didn't go lower, we touched the support. Yes, there was a small wick below, but we didn't close under it. The support held. That's the key takeaway here. The support was not broken. So now we're moving between that support at 103,519 and the resistance at 105,058. And as you know, when we re-enter a range from the top, we usually drop. And then we come back up for a pullback to retest the top of the range. This is a classic trading principle. We re-entered from above, we dropped, and now we're doing the pullback. But here's the issue. And where we need to be careful, we haven't managed to reclaim the top of the range. Remember, as long as we stay inside this range, there's a risk that we drop to the bottom of it, which sits at 101,508. That's the theoretical target. I'm not saying we'll definitely hit it, but as long as we stay inside the range, it remains a valid target. In trading theory, when you re-enter a range from above, the rule is aim for the bottom. So we need to keep that in mind. Of course, there's also the possibility that we break out to the upside and regain strength. So, yes, while the theory points to 101,508, if we break out from the top, we could regain momentum. And as long as we remain above 103,519, we absolutely have a shot at pushing higher again, toward the resistances at 107,190, then 107,872, and why not even re-enter the ascending channel and turn bullish again? That's one scenario for Bitcoin. Either way, I think we'll have an answer very soon in the coming days because we won't stay trapped between these two key levels forever. Right now, yes, we're bouncing between resistance and support, but at some point we'll break one of them and that'll set the tone for the next move. Now, the good news is the RSI is currently at 51, which is quite low. That doesn't mean we can't go lower. That's why I mentioned the bottom of the range, but still, it's relatively low. So yes, we're closer to a support zone than to a danger zone. The real danger, remember, was a few days ago, when we tried to break the bullish trend line and form a double top. That's when I gave you the big warning signs. Be careful, danger ahead for Bitcoin. And yes, there's still a risk that we fall lower. We could dip to 101,508, maybe a bit lower, to 100,115. And if the drop continues, possibly to 98,018. That seems unlikely, but in crypto, anything's possible. Let's not forget, volatility is the name of the game in crypto. Now, something I've mentioned before, and I want to stress it again, we have a huge long-term bearish divergence forming. You really need to keep this in mind. The chart is climbing. The lows are getting higher. The highs are getting higher. It looks very bullish. But the RSI tells a different story. Its highs are getting lower. The high from March 2024, the one in December 2024, and now the one in June 2025 they're all lower. So yes, we need to stay cautious. There's a giant bearish divergence forming. And strangely enough, we're getting rejected again by that long-term bullish trend line, the one that has never been broken. This trend line has never been breached in the past. And right now, it's acting as a resistance again. So no, it's not the end of the world. But if Bitcoin doesn't manage to break this bearish divergence soon, we'll have to be extremely cautious moving forward. For now, short term, yes, we're in a bearish phase. But let's not lie, it's kind of a good thing. We went up so fast and so far in the past few weeks, it was obvious we'd get a retracement. Everything that goes up eventually comes down. So now, Bitcoin is forming a descending channel. While we're inside it, the short-term bias is down. But, and this is important, there's still hope. For those who believe in a rebound, we might be forming a double bottom. We've got the first bottom and now potentially the second one. As long as we stay above 103,519, this bullish reversal pattern is still possible. To confirm it, we need to break the neckline located at 104,938. Right now, we're below it. But if we climb just a bit higher, we can reclaim it. And if we do, we'll be able to retest the short-term moving averages we broke. Ideally, we get back above 105,229, and even better, re-enter the previous short-term range from the bottom. That range sits around 106,772. You see that purple box on the chart. If we re-enter that zone from the bottom, it would be the reverse of what we saw earlier. We'd be aiming for the top of the range. So yes, we're still bearish for now, but this chart pattern could give us a way out. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but maybe it will today if we manage to break the key level I gave you. Now, to wrap things up with the long-term perspective, I mentioned earlier that massive bearish divergence. So yes, long-term caution is absolutely necessary. I'm not saying it's confirmed, but we need to monitor it closely. If it activates, it could cause real damage. Still, what's encouraging is that long-term, we're in the middle of a perfect pullback. 2 weeks ago, we broke through the 104,471 level. That was the top of a gigantic range we had previously broken downward and then re-entered. We then pushed to the top of that range, broke it upward, hit the historical resistance, got rejected, and now we're pulling back. And as I said in previous videos, as long as we stay above that key level, above 104,570, everything's still fine. We're doing a textbook pullback. The RSI is cooling off. And if we bounce from this level, we might head toward a new all-time high. Let's not celebrate too early. But for now, we're holding that key level. And that's perfect. Pull back and hold. That's a classic bullish continuation. And don't forget, tonight, in 15 hours and 19 minutes, we've got the weekly close. It's crucial that we close above that level. It's going to be a decisive weekly close for the next phase of Bitcoin's cycle. And what Bitcoin does always affects altcoins. So let's take a look at Ethereum now. What's going on? Well, for now, the bullish trend line is still acting as support. We're still inside the range. Ethereum is holding up quite well. Many altcoins dropped, but Ethereum is resisting. You can see the strong bullish push followed by a big consolidation. Now just look at those Bollinger Bands. Seriously, look at them. You know what this means. I've told you 1,000 times. We won't be allowed to say we weren't warned. Ethereum is preparing a massive move. I'm exaggerating a bit, but really, a big move is coming. The Bollinger Bands are extremely tight. Ethereum is getting ready for something major. But here's the thing. We're still inside the range. And we've been in this range since May 10th. That's 20 days of sideways action. So yes, I'm saying a big move is coming. But no, that doesn't mean tomorrow. We're talking medium term here. It will take days or even weeks. We're heading toward the bottom of the range, which is around 2,442. As long as we stay above it, we're okay. But if we break below it, watch out. We could drop violently toward 2,000. We might even see targets like 2,146, maybe 2,056, maybe 1,936, or even 1,860. So yes, Ethereum is preparing a massive move. Still, since we're in a range, the bottom of that range is support. Maybe it will hold. Also, we haven't broken the bullish trend line, so Ethereum could bounce and aim for the top of the range at 2,723. If we break that range to the upside, it would mean we're also breaking those tight Bollinger Bands from above. That could send us flying toward 2,818, then 3,073, or even 3,278. Ethereum is cooking something massive. We don't know which way it will break. We're not psychics. Also note, there's a slight bearish divergence here too. The RSI is dropping while price is holding steady. So yes, watch out. Right now, we're sitting above support, but things can flip quickly. We're getting ready for a move of plus or minus 10%. Easily. Of course, we hope it's to the upside. But keep in mind, we're closer to the support than to the resistance. Let's stay cautious. Ethereum is clearly preparing something huge. And long term, what's reassuring is that the RSI is sitting right around 50. Momentum is still in the bull's hands. So yes, we may see a short or midterm drop, but that doesn't destroy the long-term structure. Long-term Ethereum is still building up strength. We've already formed a weekly bottom. Even if we drop again, it's okay, as long as we stay above the last low. That last low is far below, around 1,580. So as long as we hold that, we could form a massive double bottom, or even a giant cup and handle. All bullish patterns. So yes, long-term, Ethereum could totally re-enter a bull run if these patterns confirm. Not right away, but soon. We're back in that infamous range again, the range of death. We really hope we break it to the upside. And when you see Bollinger Bands this tight, it's rare. We'll need patience. It might take a few more days, but clearly Ethereum is heating up. I wish you an excellent day, a great Sunday, and I'll see you later tonight for another video or tomorrow morning. Ciao, ciao.